discussion. Asthma Roundtable discussion is all about you. We are changing lives every day. We are here to educate, empower, motivate, and create awareness. Today we have a very essential topic on the table that we would like families, friends, educators, coaches, anyone that is involved in our youth to gather around here, join us, and listen to this information. I have two wonderful guests here with me, but before I introduce them to you, do me a favor. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Asna TV. Write your comments, share the page, and subscribe, because we want you to always get the latest information that we put out there. Thank you for joining us. So before we begin, I'd like my guests to introduce themselves. I have here Miss Anne Maureen. Miss Anne, can you please introduce yourself to our guests?
Yeah, thank you, Essie. My name is Anne Marie Morin. I am a nurse. I've been a nurse for many years. I do have a master's in nursing. I'm a certified wellness practitioner, as well as a certified workshop wellness specialist. So I am blessed, feel very blessed to be here, but I need to tell y'all, most of all, I'm a mom, a wife, and live in this world that we live in, trying to make a difference.
Thank you, Ms. Anne, for that wonderful introduction. I also have Pastor David Jewell here. Pastor, can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Thank you very much, AC. I thought you already did it for me.
I want you to say a little bit more.
Well, as AC rightly said, my name is David Joe. I'm the lead pastor of All Nations Church, Virginia, located in Stafford. I'm a husband and a father of three wonderful children, and as well as my spiritual children. Anything else?
That's good.
Okay.
That's good. Thank you, Pastor.
You're welcome.
And my name is Essie Jenin, your host for Asna TV. And as you all know, I'm a registered nurse, a mother of three, a wife. And today, our topic is on e-cigarettes, or some people say vaping, amongst our youth. And we're going to have a discussion. This is a subject that I'm very passionate about. And I'd like everybody to tune in. Please share the video so that other families can be aware of what the trends are going on vaping on our children. So I'd like to, before we start, I'd like to open up the conversation with some statistics that I found. And if there's anything else that you guys want to add, it would be great. I found the statistics on CDC. And it's FDA and CDC released this October 2022, and the statistics was done by National Youth Tobacco Survey. And it looked at e-cigarettes amongst the youth, in high schoolers, middle schoolers, and it went on and on and on. And it said that more than 2.5 million high school and middle school students currently use e-cigarettes. And more than 1 in 4 use e-cigarettes daily. And then it went on to also say that the most commonly used device type is the disposables, which we'll talk more about that. And then almost 85% of them use flavored e-cigarettes. And Pastor Joe, I remember that you showed me another research that I would like you to share it with the audience as well.
This was current as of November 10th, 2022. And it says this is from FDA and CDC as well, which from 2022, the National Youth Tobacco Survey on the youth says that their findings were 1 in 10, and in middle school have used this e-cigarettes in the last 30 days. And in high school students, they say about 3.8 million have used tobacco products during their last 30 days.
30 days.
So when you break it down, 1 in 10 in middle school and 1 in 4 or 1 in 5, depending on where you search you look for information. But it looks like the numbers are high in high schools as compared to middle schools.
It's a growing problem in our country, and we feel as parents, as educators, as healthcare professionals, we should raise the awareness more, and this should go into every home. Of course, charity begins at home. So the more we are able to talk to our children and break that ice and raise the awareness, the better off we are. So Miss Ann, now let's talk about what e-cigarette is.
So e-cigarettes, a little bit of history. They were first found to kind of be like a cessation smoking device. And as time went on, they found that e-cigarettes became actually more addictive. An e-cigarette in and of itself has nicotine. We all know nicotine is addictive, which is why the National Smokeout, the Great American Smokeout was identified, because nicotine is so addictive. Well, guess what happened? Vaping started to emerge from the e-cigarette. So now the e-cigarette is a nicotine product. Vaping, however, can be many different things. It is an aerosol product that can be inhaled. It has many different chemicals in it. People think it's only water and flavoring, when point of fact is some of those chemicals are very toxic. Also, of course, you can have THC and CBD that's identified within the vape product. So that is what a vape is, and it has many different names, as we've been discussing. Juul, vaping, blowing smoke, and the mode of transmission are through many different devices that are really pretty. They're cool looking,
Very much so.
So that's exactly what a vape is, and unfortunately, because it was started as a good thing, and identified as being bad, these things die really hard. So some people still think that they're going to vape to stop smoking.
That's right.
When point of fact, it's more addictive, really.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So like Ms. Ann is saying right now, that it was made for smokers to help them stop smoking. But now we see that our youth are riding on it. Now, when we talk about this THC and the other ingredient,
The polyphenols that are identified in it.
I don't want to go that
Okay,
deep,
that deep.
but I just want to
the
say that
organic compounds.
yes,
Yeah.
these are ingredients that are put in to give you that high
Yeah,
feeling
sure.
and things like that, just like drugs. So that's what we're talking about, and that's why. So she mentioned that people think it's water and flavor. No, others too add more chemicals to
Right,
it besides the
Absolutely.
the juice, quote unquote. They call their ingredient, they put in juice.
The flavoring, yeah.
Exactly. Other people add other medications, drugs, in combination, and it makes it even more dangerous to our youth. Now, what do you think, Pastor J, would make a youth pick up their first vape, or would inspire them to vape in the first place?
I believe one, it might be curiosity. Sometimes they see their peers doing it, and out of curiosity, and just as you rightly said, they introduce this to help tobacco smokers stop. So sometimes they think this is something cool, Out of curiosity can be out of peer pressure, can also be part of it, because if the circle of friends they are with are doing it, they'll be sometimes forced to do it. And peer pressure in schools is something that we all know how it can really affect our kids, and
Go on and on and on.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, where do they get them from?
They can purchase them from the store. They get them from their friends. Now, it is illegal in the state of Virginia for a vaping product to be sold to a minor, but guess what? They are sold.
We're making money,
Yeah,
right? It's a
yeah.
money-making thing right
Exactly.
now. It's big.
Exactly.
Now, I know that online
Mm-hmm.
they sell them
Oh,
online.
absolutely. They can get them from online, put in your birthday, get it sent. I mean, and there you go.
And they're just making money.
Mm-hmm.
And what I also found out was that there are now counterfeit products out there. Just because it's big on the market, people are now not even having it properly through the channels that they have to get inspected. So because of that, they just selling any product. And mind you, even the devices that they're using, what has chemicals, and people are having counterfeits of it, and therefore it becomes more even harmful to the youth, right? So these are all things. That's how they get it. And we talked about some of the names that are out there. You called it what?
Yeah, so we were doing a search about the different kind of names, and we were laughing about them. But Buzz Lightyear, Miss Puff, Mr. Jewel, what are some other the funny names? Puff Daddy.
Puff Bars.
Yep. So a bunch of different funny names, but one of them, just simply vaping. You're going to hear that a lot. Then the smoker, steamer, a lot of different kind of combinations of names like that.
You might be around your youth and your kids, and they might be talking.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have no idea what some of these things refer to, it'll be over your head, and you wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do they look like? How am I supposed to know, Pastor Dale, that this is a device for vaping, or this is what my child is doing? What do they look like?
The vaping industry has become really creative now. When it first came out, you see something like a jar, which was obvious, but now they've become so creative. I was researching online and I saw one that looks like a pen, just a pen that kids use in school, markers. They have ones that look like USB drives.
Mm-hmm.
Is it different
mouse.
colors?
Different colors, yes. And they're making it so creative that if you're a parent and you don't know, your kids can have it right there and you wouldn't even notice what it is. Some even come in the form of a computer mouse. And it's one of the vaping devices.
Nice.
Yes.
Wow.
And they even have one which is a backpack. I mean, that was the most shocking one. You have the backpack on and the vaping, then it's we have to be really curious to go out and really search for these things in order to know how they look like. When it first started, I mean, you could identify it, but now they become very creative in producing these products.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. And the plug-in. So you're going to plug it in. You may identify if you're a parent. You see that the child has a different adapter for their phone to plug in their phone. So it's not necessarily an Apple adapter or some other type of product. Yeah. So identifying that this device that they're using to vape has to be charged.
It has to be charged.
Mm-hmm. It has to be charged. So looking around the house, oh, well, that's funny. Why is this wire behind the bed? Or why is it
Hidden.
Exactly. So looking for those types of things can help a parent maybe identify that something's unusual. I don't remember this kind of cord here or whatnot.
So let's take a break and we'll be right back to talk about more interesting things about vaping that you probably don't know and you should be looking out for.
Are you looking for a reputable nursing school that will equip you for the future? ASNA is the answer. At ASNA, some of the programs we offer include practical nursing, phlebotomy, nurse aid, medication aid, and home health aid. We also offer CPR classes. We believe, we inspire, and we create. This is our mission statement. ASNA, we will help you follow your dream. For more information, please visit our website at asnaonline.com or call 703-490-8402.
Welcome back to ASNA Roundtable Discussion. We are talking about the use of e-cigarettes or vaping amongst our youth. ASNA Roundtable Discussion is sponsored by American School of Nursing and Allied Health. So let's get right back into it. Now, how would I know that my child is vaping or my youth is vaping? And ladies first.
Well, firstly, if you you see kids vaping more and more every day, and you start thinking, what if my kid is vaping? You need to go into this investigation with a non-judgmental attitude, firstly. Then you start looking around and you think, does my child have coughing signs and symptoms? Are they more tired than usual? When they walk upstairs or down the stairs, do they become short of breath? Also, with all the latest and greatest viruses, do they have an onset of RSV, that new, well, it's not new, RSV is old, but we're seeing a lot of it in the news. And are they healing quicker, or is it taking them longer to get better? So those are some of the physical signs and symptoms of vaping. And then, of course, if you find a vape around the house,
That's a big one.
yeah, you find that. What's that? They say they're holding it for their friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one. Also, what are some other things?
Pastor Joe, can you
Yeah.
chime
I
in?
think it affects their learning
Abilities.
abilities.
Good,
It
yeah.
also affects their mood. They have these mood
Oh,
swings.
very good.
The attention span decreases drastically. Impulse control.
Ooh,
You
impulse
can't control the
control.
emotions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I also know that the smells
Ooh,
around the house, because they say that the juice that they put in has the sweet candy, fruity smell.
Fruity smell.
Bubble
right.
gum, cherry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you should be looking out for that.
Mhm.
I've also seen incidences where the kids are propping their windows for fresh air to come into the house, meaning that they're doing something that they don't want you to really smell around the house, or they cover up with air fresheners or candles or spray, colognes and things like that. And you also mentioned something that they put them in their hoodies.
Yeah, that's another way of hiding the
The
device in
Okay.
their hoodies. Right?
Okay.
So
A
if
friend told me a story of their niece hiding it under the toilet bowl lid
Oh yeah.
right there. They were looking, they suspected, and that's why they found it. Think about infection.
Oh yeah. Infection like nobody's business. You know, already you're getting that aerosol in your lungs. Think about your lungs. I mean, that the little cells, if you think about it, it's a quick way to get medicine through to your body. So they get a quick fix pretty fast. So that lung involvement, it can be just pretty crucial. Yeah. So you got a kid that's an athlete. Let's say they're an athlete and they play soccer or they play rugby or whatever, football. And so now suddenly they can't run as far. You know, these again, circling back around to those, you know, how do you know your kid might be vaping? So.
I have also seen instances where they're losing weight
Oh,
because nicotine in the product
Absolutely.
is an appetite suppressant. So they're not going to eat much, and you know they'll be losing weight, and that's a red flag right there.
That is absolutely.
It's a suspicion right there that you need to look out for. Mouth sores.
Oh, that's right, because they like to share the
Yes.
vape. Yeah.
Infection.
Yeah.
Bacteria,
Yeah.
you know, and leading to also cavities and things like
oh,
that.
yeah, absolutely.
Once you have bacteria in your mouth.
Mhm.
So all these things are signs
Yeah.
to look out for in your children
True.
when they're vaping.
And it also says they drink a lot of water.
Oh,
And they
because
have
their
this,
mouth is dry.
Right, the mouth is dry. They have this
Dehydration.
nosebleed too
Oh.
as well. And you mentioned the smoker's cough.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, smokers have a different kind of cough.
Mhm.
So then it starts to affect your lungs then.
It
Right.
does, absolutely.
And that drives us quick into how it affects them. How is it affecting their bodies?
yeah,
That
so
is a big one.
yeah, we
Yeah.
talked about quickly the how quickly the drug, if you will, the vape, the toxins get into the lung and get into the body. Well, it goes right up to the brain. You know, and so the way our brains work with neurotransmission and sending signals back and forth, it starts to affect the way our young people think. Young people are considered anybody that are 25 and below, not just, you know, like very young. So your brain, a person's brain can change their neurotransmittory migration from the time, Essie, that they, all the way until they're 25. And this,
mid-20s,
yeah. So this has them really, you know, starting to have that impulse control, lack of control. And it is a gateway drug for other kind of drugs.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
so-
Because it says, the research says that if you start this, most likely into your adulthood,
Yeah.
you'll be an addictor. You'll be
Yeah.
addicted to it, and you
Yeah.
might try other things too.
Exactly.
As well. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's very concerning for all ages. You know, and we're focusing on the young, but you know, really, it's not good for any age.
Anybody.
You
Anybody.
know.
Health benefits here. What else?
I'll
Health impacts, not benefit. I never saw any benefit of this. What are some of the impacts?
Yeah, I'll say this way, cigarette or tobacco is known to give cancer. I mean, you can get cancer out of it, which kills. Vaping also, you develop this lung disease, which also kills.
Yes.
So, when you use tobacco products, when you use vaping products, the bottom line is, you can die before your time.
That's right. As simple as that.
And you know, not only death, but you're like what's going on with your life, you
With
know.
the
So
future.
yeah, eventually, but kids don't think I'm gonna die. They don't even have that concept in their mind. But it just really takes away from their activities of daily living. You know, it's a little bit harder to get up.
Yes.
Oh wait, it hits the pocketbook, because vaping is not cheap.
Yes.
So that's one thing that to consider, you
can-
know,
you can
how is it
see.
hitting your pocketbook, not only your body, what it's doing to harm your temple of the Holy Spirit,
That's
your
right.
body.
That's right.
So, very important.
Very, very important. And like we all said, mental health,
Oh, yeah.
your mood, your thinking, your daily habits.
It's true.
Everything changes in you because it's just not the best.
And Pastor, you were saying that it takes just 30 minutes and it's time to take another hit off the vape.
Addiction.
Right, at the addiction
Yeah,
part,
yeah.
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 I was listening to this individual on YouTube who had gone through the addiction. He said he only tried it once, and he got addicted to it. And he said they had to go on this hiking thing, and he was able to stay away from water for 3 days. But he wasn't able to stay away from vaping for just 30 minutes.
Wow.
30
That's
minutes.
significant.
That is alarming.
Yeah.
So that tells us that, I mean, with the addiction, it's just enormous. Like it's not the best. Once you get hooked up to it, it's something that you might have trouble getting off of it because of that addiction habits.
Right, and this individual just tried it once, and he got hooked onto it, he got addicted to it. So it's not the number of times that you do it that will get you addicted. It depends on, some people try just once,
Yeah, that's it.
and you're hooked on, you get addicted.
Wow.
It's true. It's true.
So, let's, and I also found something about the vapor's tongue. A sudden loss of taste
Okay.
when you keep vaping. Sometimes it's just once. And then all of a sudden, you lose your sense of taste as part of vaping. I also read about cancer, the effects of
Right.
vaping and cancer.
Because of the
And-
chemicals.
That's right.
Exactly. And the studies are just coming out.
Exactly.
You know,
Lots and lots of studies are being
Exactly.
done
Exactly.
because it's something that is still, new to the market. And I'd like to also share this story about this mother that was saying, I was in my freshman high school orientation.
Okay.
And the mother shared a story that she has a 19-year-old, and as a result of vaping, the child has seizures. And this child could not go off to college because they were not comfortable letting him go because of the subsequent seizure activities that he's having.
Right.
So it has big impact
Mm-hmm.
on some of our children, and long-term effects is real.
Yeah.
It might not be today, like you have told me before.
Right.
It might not be today, it might be in the future.
It's true.
So let's take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a reputable nursing school that will equip you for the future? ASNA is the answer. At ASNA, some of the programs we offer include practical nursing, phlebotomy, nurse aid, medication aid, and home health aid. We also offer CPR classes. We believe, we inspire, and we create. This is our mission statement. ASNA, we will help you follow your dream. For more information, please visit our website at asnaonline.com or call 703-490-8402.
Thank you for joining us on ASNA Roundtable Discussion. We are discussing the effects of vaping amongst our youth, especially middle schoolers and high schoolers. Already we've looked at statistics amongst this age group, and we believe by having this discussion, it will be an awareness. And all guardians, parents, educators, everyone will tune into and help raise that awareness, educate our children on it. So we left off where we were talking about the effects of vaping on the youth, and would like to expand on it a little bit more. Pastor Joe, there was something that you wanted to share with us.
Can we talk about the anxiety and
Okay,
depression?
first. Okay, yeah.
Sure.
So let's go.
So, e-cigarettes, vaping causes addiction. We have identified that. I think we kind of beat that horse to death.
That's right.
However, anxiety and depression is a real thing with vaping. Really and truly, anxiety and depression can affect memory. It can affect the way your kid acts or reacts to certain things, just normal life situations. So that all being said, with that anxiety and depression, it can lead then to, more addictive behaviors like actual smoking, actual cigarettes and other kind of products. It also leads to,
and this is what a lot of people don't really know, and study shows that vaping can lead to sexual dysfunction in men. In other words, it can make you impotent. And I don't think most people have really considered that, but it's a big thing.
I think that as the research is ongoing and exposing more of these things, we are going to learn a lot. So that's a big take-home message, that it does affect sexual
Dysfunction in men.
Yes, in men. And another thing that I also wanted to add is secondhand vapor use.
right.
You might think that because your child does not do it, they are not impacted by it, but other children doing it might affect your child or your youth, let's put it that way. And it would cause other problems. That, all these issues that we're talking about, lung irritation problems and inflammation, cancer and all that. So something that somebody is doing can affect your own as well. And let's think about the other outside factors, like driving and, doing all these, putting all these chemicals in you. It could cause accidents and all these long-term effects that can happen to anybody else, And where do they do this? Why do these kids do this the most in schools?
In schools, talking to my daughter and my sons, mostly in the bathrooms.
In the bathrooms.
I think that's a common place they congregate meet to do it.
And the saddest thing is they share the vapes,
Yep.
right?
Yep, they
Which-
pass that vape along, which causes more infection.
That's right.
Sores on the mouth we talked about. Respiratory infection.
Exactly.
Other places we heard was behind the school. They're vaping behind schools, going in the cars, especially if they can leave for lunch. Those types of things.
Vaping joints.
Yeah. Actually, even vaping in the classroom. Who knew? Putting that vape right in their shirt.
In the bra.
And in their bra, and
Sniffing.
puffing away.
Mhm.
Yeah. So really and truly, vaping it's certainly an epidemic in
Epidemic.
our school systems.
That's right. That's
so,
right. And with me and you, we can help that
Mhm.
raise that awareness and
Mhm.
take it further.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
that's the whole point of talking about it.
Very good.
Now, how should we talk to our children and help them understand that this is not the right thing to do, and therefore they should walk away from it?
Mhm.
As parents, how do we do that? Pastor, I would like to start with you.
I believe we have to, these are conversations that we have to start very early.
Mhm.
Because one thing that you should understand is prevention is better than cure.
That's right.
Sometimes it falls in our blind spot as
Mhm.
parents. We
Mhm.
trust our kids so much that we don't even think of they doing things like that. But if it has become an epidemic, then we have to start a conversation. And starting a conversation is with love, you know,
Open mind.
open mind, asking open-ended questions,
Mhm.
where you start a conversation where you allow them to talk uninterrupted.
Mhm.
Because sometimes when some of these informations are given out, it can affect our mood,
Yeah.
Big time.
if your
We
mood is
snap.
affected, yes,
Snap.
Yeah, you can feel like a failure as
Exactly.
a parent, you
Right.
know,
Mhm.
and so you want to.
disappointment.
Right, right. So what? Listening 60%, talking
Talking
40%.
40%.
So
So allow them to
Yeah.
do most of the talking,
Mm-hmm.
and you listen as much as you can.
Yeah, non-judgmentally.
Not judgmental, right?
That's right.
And even if they confess that they've done it,
Mhm.
don't be angry.
Investigate.
Right, investigate because you want to help your child. And when you get angry and you snap and you start yelling, you shut it down.
Exactly.
So there's no way they're going to open up to you again. So let it be a conversation out of love. Of course, you love your child in as much as you don't want them
Yeah.
to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
But you still have to embrace them with love.
Mhm.
Let them
True.
come out, let them give you all the information so you can help. Because the more information you have,
Mhm.
the better you can help.
That's right.
Exactly. Exactly.
I also feel that we also have to always find the right time
Ooh, timing.
Yes.
to
Timing is
have the
everything.
right conversation, because it will allow them to express themselves, talk to you. It shouldn't be something that you are trying to antagonize or question or query.
Interrogate.
Exactly, like an FBI, and make them,
Right.
scare them away to feel that,
Exactly.
or
Or set them up. They feel
Exactly.
set up. Yeah.
exactly. So it
Yeah.
should be in a very casual, normal, in a way that they are able to express themselves and give you that information.
Yeah, like I heard this today. What are your experience
Mhm.
with this? Have you seen? Do your
Mhm.
friends vape?
Mhm.
Have you wanted to vape? Is it interesting? Is it intriguing? I mean, those contraptions are pretty cool.
Mhm.
You know, have you seen them? What do they look like?
Mhm.
You know, kind of that kind of going in the back door.
And just like any other conversation, that you'd
Mhm.
have with your youth.
Exactly.
I think it should be in, like you mentioned, in love,
in love,
not interrogation,
right?
in embracing manner, so they will
Exactly.
be able to speak more.
Yeah.
Now, if they really tell you, like you said, no, let me retract. What information should you give them? What information should you really give them?
I
And
think.
how are you gonna, present it?
Yeah, of course. Again, with the non-judgmental attitude, always expecting and wanting your child to walk the high road. You know that they know that you want them to do their best. Identifying that really you want them to be healthy, to be the best that they can do. Identifying all of their great attributes. And letting them know that, yeah, that's kind of, that's intriguing. Tell me about this vaping. And tell me about, well, have you done it? How did it make you feel? And then, like, have you done any research about vaping? Let them, kids are smart. I mean,
yeah.
We're walking around with our computers in our hands.
Mhm.
They can
Phones.
certainly investigate.
Smartphones.
Yeah, exactly. Let them say, hey, why don't you look that up for me? Tell me about vaping. What are the effects of vaping? Does it help you be a better student? Will it help you get that scholarship?
That
You
you
know,
have.
So kind of go in that way as you're talking about it, and then talk about what they dream. What do you want to be? How is this? You know, if you did that,
What
if
do you
you
think?
started vaping, how much would that cost? Oh, if you have a kid that's really into numbers, or they really like money.
Money.
Most kids like money.
Money.
Have them come up with a
Numbers.
sheet. You know how how much would it cost you if a vape costs $7.98 and it runs out after
X amount of days.
yeah, add it up. So those are some good ways to have them think, kind of nudge theory, move them along.
Exactly.
Let them come up with the right decision, because they will. Have faith in your kid.
That's right.
And
And I also believe that giving them the facts
yes,
is something that is very necessary.
Yeah.
We're not gonna twist our words, sugarcoat it, but let it be the facts. Now, Pastor Joe, from the pastoral standpoint, how are we going to get them to really believe in what we're saying, or the information that we're giving them?
I believe by helping them to also do the research, as you rightly said, let them get information for themselves and to themselves. And once they get information, now we have to let them understand their purpose, right? If they understand their purpose in life and on earth, what they want to achieve, what they want to do, mostly kids will swear away if they don't really understand their purpose, and I say they don't understand their why. So once we explain their why, we let them come out with their understanding their purpose, that we can streamline them in helping them to stay away from some of these things. Because just as you rightly said, sometimes it's out of curiosity, all right? They don't have all the information.
Right.
They have information based on those who are doing it, because they just hand it over to them. But if they research and they find out that, oh, this is what it can affect my health,
Right.
it can affect my mindset, my brains, it can damage my brains
My
and all
future,
that, my
yeah.
future.
Very
Right,
true.
and any kid that has a future in mind
Mhm.
will definitely want to stay away
True,
from it.
that's
And
right.
two, we have to let them know that their bodies are the temple of God.
That's right.
You don't want to put anything that is toxic into the temple. Just imagine you have your house and you want to set your house on fire. Where are you going to live afterwards?
What do you say?
Where do you stay?
Yeah, good point.
So, let Mr. Dr. Pastor Joe rightly said, our bodies are temples of the Lord, and we must take care of it and make sure that it's clean and holy. And I think if a kid, like you said, if a kid has a purpose and knows what their future holds, then of course they would be rightly, they would not do things like this, and they'll keep their bodies separate, right? Yeah. So what I also wanted to ask is that, how about if you really have a child? We might have viewers that, we're talking prevention, how to find out, and all. They have passed all those phases. But then now they know, they found out that the child is vaping, and their child is in the habit. It's still in it.
Yeah.
How do they handle that?
Yeah, that's tough, because we all know ultimately it is the individuals, they have to make the decision to stop vaping. So supporting them in quitting the habit, stopping the vape, support is one of the biggest things.
That's right.
Identifying what the rules are at the school, at the middle school, at the high school. Because I understand in many of the schools, it is a suspendable or an expulsive event. So the consequences, the natural consequences of vaping, not just the physical consequences, can go far. So really helping them understand those potential consequences, I think, is very important.
Yes.
And then their friends, like who are their friends? And why would you hang out with folks that want to hurt you? Because that's hurting your body. So maybe having them reevaluate their friend group. These are good starts. Ultimately, I guess a lot of prayer as well.
That's right.
Support. If you have a child that's a natural leader, have them lead their friends to stop quitting. Let's have who can stop vaping first? you know, and make a
The
game
vaping
of it.
challenge.
Yeah, the vape challenge. So there are ways that are creative, but the kid has to be engaged, buy in, and truly understand.
That's right.
So starting from prevention, like you said, and then building from there, having the child understand why it's so bad for them, the expense of it. I just think expense is
It's
big. So moving on, and you know, the natural consequences of vaping can be really effective if there is support in supporting the child through love,
In
like
love,
we
yeah,
talked about,
in love.
in love,
In
in love. I think that consequences are going to be natural. I think that if you as a parent decide that you want to give some other consequences that are appropriate to the behavior through discussing that with your child,
That's right.
then I think that that's appropriate as well. What do you guys think? Yes.
Yeah, I also think, just as you said, the support, the family support is very important. You also get rid of all the
Ooh, yeah.
products if you find them. I think you can also, these days they are so creative, they have ways of getting them. And counseling and therapy,
Ooh, okay.
especially if they've got into the place where they're so addicted.
That's right.
And we can also refer them to their primary care physicians to give them help as well.
I also think you don't have to punish per se when you find things like that. Support is number one, but I don't think making it punitive. They're already there and they are struggling with it, and we want it to stop. So punishing is something that we need to as a family or
Yeah,
as
that has to be a personal.
exactly.
Right.
You know, what's going on? Does the punishment, if it indeed, you know, are they expelled, or you know, then that's a whole nother.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Yeah, that's.
Are you looking for a reputable nursing school that will equip you for the future? ASNA is the answer. At ASNA, some of the programs we offer include practical nursing, phlebotomy, nurse aid, medication aid, and home health aid. We also offer CPR classes. We believe, we inspire, and recreate. This is our mission statement. ASNA, we will help you follow your dream. For more information, please visit our website at asnaonline.com or call 703-490-8402.
Welcome to ASNA Roundtable discussion. We're still discussing the effects of vaping on our youth, and we are at the point that we have talked a lot about vaping, and we hope you have learned a lot. At this point, we're going to wrap up, and in wrapping up, Miss Ann, what would you like to say to our audience?
Well, in review with supporting your child, your young adult, trying to help them quit is probably the biggest thing. If you have already done prevention, you've talked to them, they know about vaping, now perhaps you found out that your child vapes. Reach out. There are hundreds of quitting programs. The American Heart Association has quitting programs. You can look on the CDC website, quittobacco.com, it's time to quit.com. So many, you can just put how to help my child quit vaping, and you will find a plethora of information.
Okay.
So that support, offering now a quitting program, to me, is really the best
The best.
option on how to move forward in love and care for your
That's
your
right.
child.
That's right. Pastor Joe, yes, I'd like to hear from your standpoint.
Yes.
All right, we talked about the family support in helping them quit it. And when it gets to that point, we don't have to be judgmental. Once we talk to them about it, we don't have to always bring it up, comparing them to others. No, you want to do this in love and with love. And from the pastoral standpoint,
That's
just
right.
permit me, I
That's
want
right.
to read two scriptures. It's not going to be lengthy. But to a young one out there,
You are given permission.
in
Yes.
1 Corinthians 6 and the verses 19 and 20, it says that, or do you know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have from God, and you are not your own? For we are bought at a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and the spirit, and in your spirit, which are God's. So you are the body of Christ. And you don't want to put anything toxic in your system to destroy that body. There's so much deposited on the inside of you
That's right.
as a young person. The other verse is 1 Corinthians 10:31, which says that therefore whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God. So you ask yourself, what I'm doing, is it going to glorify God? Is it going to benefit me? Is it going to benefit somebody else? Because as a child, as a human being, you have one body and one life.
That's right.
All right? And let me say to you, the world needs you.
That's right.
You're so creative, you're so talented, you're so gifted. And the world needs that gift, talent, and abilities that God has deposited in you. You're so special.
That's right.
Think about that. That you are the one that God wants to use. You know, everybody has an assignment. And you have one assignment that nobody else can do except you.
That's right.
So if you're indulging in this, refrain from it and know your purpose, walk in your purpose, and let God fulfill that purpose.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. That was powerful.
That was beautiful.
That was
Thank you.
powerful. Thank you so much for watching us today. We hope that what we have discussed here will go a long way, would help you to educate your kids, to create that awareness. Like we said, we are parents, we are educators, we are nurses that are very passionate about this subject, vaping. Once again, please subscribe to Asna TV on YouTube. Share our page and give us your comments.